I spent a decade building Mo Group from the brink of bankruptcy to a successful public company. On the day we rang the bell, Sabrina Mo made a public announcement that her unforgettable first love would become the general manager, while I was working overtime and eventually ended up in the hospital. Meanwhile, she was busy taking care of him after he sprained his ankle playing ball and didn't come home all night. My heart shattered, and I finally reached my breaking point. But she begged me, telling me she couldn't live without me. I couldn't take it anymore. At the celebration party, Sabrina made the appointment of Carlos as the new general manager, with an annual salary in the millions instantly. Everyone's eyes shifted, subtly amused. Industry insiders knew that I had been Sabrina's boyfriend, and yet, despite all my efforts to turn the company around, she publicly appointed someone else to replace me. I had poured my heart and soul into the company, from market expansion to project planning. Doing everything for Mo Group. Sabrina's role had always been more about standing tall as the chairman. Now, out of nowhere, appointing Carlos was a slap in the face to me, but Sabrina seemed completely unaware of my embarrassment. Her eyes never left Carlos. She accompanied him around the party, introducing him to important figures, occasionally looking up at him with a smile full of affection. The way she looked at him mirrored the same admiration she had for him. Back then, the atmosphere was suffocating, so I stepped out to the terrace with a glass of red wine. I drank it too quickly, the sour liquid sliding down my throat, making me cough. "Victor, are you all right?" I looked up and saw Adriana, the eldest daughter of the Gu family, the wealthiest family in town. I put the glass down, coughing a little. "I'm fine," I replied, still trying to hold it together. "Still pretending to be strong," she teased, sitting beside me. "People are walking all over you, and you're letting them, but it's none of my business." "As long as Sabrina is happy, I don't care," I said, trying to keep my tone calm. "Why don't you come work with us at Chew Group?" she suggested. "As long as the old man is alive, I'll never leave." Adriana leaned in, her gaze sharp. "You know, it seems like old feelings have resurfaced between them. They're lovey-dovey every day. How do you stand it?" I clenched my fists, trying to keep my temper in check. "Sabrina is my girlfriend. I'll take care of her." "You don't need to worry," I said flatly. Adriana rolled her eyes. Still so stubborn. "I don't get what's so great about Sabrina. Her looks, her family background, her abilities, none of them match up to you. Are you a masochist or something?" "If you keep nagging me, I won't be polite," I warned her. Okay, I won't say another word." She poured red wine into both her glass and mine and handed it to me. "Come on, have a drink with me." I clinked glasses with her and drank it down. "Victor, when did you become so close with Mr. Chu?" There was a hint of jealousy in her voice. I turned around to see Sabrina holding Carlos's arm, standing not far behind. Adriana raised an eyebrow. "Sabrina, if you don't use Victor wisely, don't blame us at Chew Group for poaching him." Sabrina's gaze turned to her, clearly annoyed. "What does she mean? Trying to poach you to the Gu family?" she asked, clearly displeased. "It's just casual talk," I replied, not wanting to elaborate. "I know you won't go," she said confidently. "At best, she can offer you a department manager position. At Mo family, you're already a vice president. From general manager to vice president?" I stayed silent, the words hitting harder than I expected. Carlos, who had been watching our exchange, smiled at me. "Victor, we'll be colleagues from now on. Once I take office, I'll need your guidance." "No need," I replied, my voice flat. "I'm not in the habit of assisting others." Carlos looked apologetic. "I didn't want this either, but Sabrina said the company needed high-end talent after going public. She persuaded me repeatedly, and I couldn't refuse." "High-end talent?" I asked, slightly sarcastic. "Mr. Wong, which major companies have you worked for?" Carlos's polite demeanor faltered. "Victor, I worked hard to bring Carlos back. Don't make trouble, okay?" Sabrina snapped at me. "It's just a general manager position. Why do you have to compete with Carlos? I've let you be the general manager for 10 years. It's time for someone else. Carlos has a master's degree from abroad. It's not a demotion to be his deputy." Sabrina, her tone growing sharper, said, "If you really want to, you can step down from the general manager position. but I won't let you be a vice president. Being a stepping stone was already bad enough. I'm done. Sabrina, I'm about to marry you. It's better if I leave the company and enjoy some home life, I replied, my voice steady. Carlos, it's kind of you to think of me, I continued, watching Sabrina smile at him. My heart sank. After 10 years of dating, I realized she had always been capricious with me. I thought it was just her nature, but it turned out it depended on the person. Victor, you must become the vice president. I want you to hand over all your work and resources to Carlos within 3 months, Sabrina ordered, her eyes sharp. I stared at her in disbelief, and she added, If you keep making a fuss, give Luna back to me. I don't want to stay with a petty man. Carlos smiled at me, his eyes full of pride. Sabrina knew how to handle me. After 10 years, I had always complied whenever we argued. The moment she mentioned Luna, I knew it was all over. Luna was a cat that Sabrina had given me when we were kids. When I was 10, my parents divorced, and my mother took me away with nothing, from being the favored child to a nobody. My classmates mocked and teased me, but Sabrina said nothing. She quietly placed a kitten in my school bag, a tiny, messy, furred thing that was a little dirty. That kitten became my only companion for many years. Now, Luna, at 18 years old, was considered to be as old as a person in their 80s or 90s. I treasured whatever time it had left, always holding it when I was home. Luna was attached to me, but not to Sabrina. Sabrina never liked the cat and often took it from my arms, throwing it carelessly on the carpet. I bent down to pet Luna, letting it play at my side. Sabrina, we agreed to start planning our wedding after the company went public. When do you think we should set the date? I asked. Sabrina's expression stiffened. There's still so much left to do. Let's wait a bit longer. You only need to pick the wedding dress and attire, and I'll handle everything else. All you think about is getting married. She paced around the room restlessly. Can't you think about me for once? Carlos just returned, and he's still not familiar with the business. We also have 2 major projects halfway done. How can I think about getting married right now? Don't worry, I reassured her. I'll help him complete these 2 projects. I placed my hands gently on her shoulders to comfort her. Let's have dinner together tonight. I made your favorite squirrel fish. But Sabrina shrugged my hands off. I have a meeting with Carlos and a client. You eat by yourself. For the next half month, I worked with the planning department every day until midnight. On one hand, the client's deadline was tight, and on the other, the plan was revised endlessly. After Carlos took office, every planning proposal had to be approved by him. Each time we submitted it, he sent it back, saying, The plan isn't good enough, redo it. We revised version after version, but nothing was ever approved. When we asked him what the problem was, he wouldn't tell us. Finally, Manager Lin of the planning department lost his patience. This is the result of Ming, assistant manager, and his team working all night. We've really done our best. Carlos responded coldly. Doing your best isn't enough. I want perfection. Boss Wang, Manager Lin said, tell us what's wrong. We'll revise it according to your requirements. You've been doing this for so many years and can't even see the problems? How did you manage before? Carlos's gaze swept over everyone and finally landed on me. Manager Lin's face flushed with anger. The planning projects that Mo family has done over the years have always been well received by clients, he said. Carlos's expression darkened. Are you implying that I lack judgment? Manager Lin didn't respond, silently acknowledging it. If you think I'm incompetent, you don't have to work under me. Go to finance, collect your salary, and don't come in tomorrow. What do you mean? I've worked for Mo family for so long and never made a mistake. What right do you have to fire me? Manager Lin protested. I'm the general manager, Carlos said firmly. I can fire anyone if I want to. At that moment, Sabrina entered from outside, hearing the commotion. What's all this noise? I could hear it from far away. Sabrina, you're just in time, I said. Carlos looked exhausted. I don't think I can be the general manager. I think it's better if I leave. Sabrina glanced at everyone. Carlos, what happened? Manager Lin and his team are all Mr. N's people. I can't manage them, Carlos explained without a hint of apology. Sabrina looked at me with a cold stare. Victor, are you making things difficult for Carlos again? I calmly explained. Manager Lin and his team produced several versions of the plan, but Mr. Wong didn't approve any of them. We just wanted to understand what the issues were. Is that too much to ask? I strive for perfection and want each plan to be the best, bringing the greatest benefits to the company, I added. Sabrina responded with a reassuring smile to Carlos. You did very well, Carlos. Manager Lin didn't follow orders and openly contradicted me, affecting the company's morale. I had no choice but to set an example. Without hesitation, Sabrina said, Pablo, you don't need to come in tomorrow. I pleaded with Sabrina. This has nothing to do with Manager Lin. It's me. But before I could finish, Sabrina cut me off coldly. He dared to defy Carlos because he has your backing. Let me make it clear today, this company is mine. If I appoint Carlos as general manager, his decisions represent my intentions. Anyone who disobeys will be dismissed by Carlos. This rule applies to everyone in the company. Sabrina's eyes locked onto mine as she said the last sentence. She was making it clear that no one, not even me, could defy Carlos. Manager Lin was ultimately dismissed by Carlos, who didn't even give him the chance to resign voluntarily. Pablo had been with me for 5 years, capable and loyal. I couldn't just stand by. On the day he left, I called Adriana. I have a very capable assistant leaving my team. Do you need anyone on your side? Anyone you recommend can't be bad. Let him report to HR tomorrow. After hanging up, I turned to Pablo. If you're willing, take my business card to the Gu family tomorrow. They'll arrange a suitable position for you. Thank you, Mr. Ming, Pablo said, his mood shifting from dejection to joy instantly. After all, the Gu family was a prestigious name. Becoming part of such a large company was a rare opportunity for me, and Pablo reminded me again to be careful. Mo Group now is like Xia in the Function legend, he said. Sabrina's blinded by Carlos Yu as the main wife, must be cautious. After sending Pablo off, I felt a dull pain in my lower right abdomen. In the early days of building the business, I often stayed up late and had irregular meals, leading to chronic appendicitis. Lately, exhaustion and stress had flared it up again. I was about to take some medicine when the planning department came in, asking for revisions to the plan. Print a new copy and send it to Mr. Wong in a couple of days. Will that work? I told them to do as I instructed, assuring them that I would take responsibility if anything went wrong. 3 days later, we resubmitted the plan, and once again, Carlos rejected it. The reason? Still not perfect, he said. Print another copy for him. A week later, Carlos finally approved it. Everyone was exhausted after working so hard over the past days. I told the team to go home and rest while I finished the final touches. The pain in my lower right abdomen had worsened due to the late nights and lack of rest, and tonight it was unbearable. I took some medicine, thinking I'd go to the hospital tomorrow. However, half an hour passed with no relief, only intensified pain, making it impossible to stand clutching my stomach. I realized I couldn't hold on any longer. It was already past 11 p.m., and everyone had left for the night. I dialed Sabrina's number. Sabrina, where are you? Can you come and get me? I asked. She seemed to be outdoors, and I could hear the wind blowing in the background. What is it? Why does a grown man need me to pick him up? She responded. I'm not feeling well, I said, and by then I was sweating heavily. Oh, where are you now? She asked. I could hear her voice shift when she added, What happened? Ouch! My foot, it's twisted. Carlos's voice suddenly came through. Sabrina, clearly distressed, said, Oh my God, is it serious? I'm not sure, but it hurts a lot, Carlos replied. Sabrina quickly ended the call, completely forgetting about me. Meanwhile, the pain in my abdomen became unbearable, so I called Adriana. She rushed over in her car and took me to the hospital. The emergency doctor examined me and confirmed I had acute appendicitis and needed surgery. Adriana, though complaining, immediately got to work, handling the bills and admission procedures. I lay alone in a corner of the hospital, scrolling aimlessly through my social media feed to distract myself from the pain. 10 minutes ago, Carlos had posted a set of pictures. Sabrina was talking to the doctor, feeding him porridge, smiling at him, and placing his bandaged ankle on her lap. The caption read, It's great to have someone who cares. My heart twisted in agony. After 10 years of devotion to her, giving her everything I had, Loving her, caring for her, protecting her, it felt like my responsibilities had flowed in my blood. I had never expected anything in return, but now, seeing her smile and show concern for him, I realized that she had never smiled at me that way. Her eyes had never looked at me with love. What's wrong? Jealous? Adriana had returned without me noticing. They've been showing up together at various events lately. I thought you were already used to it. Cold sweat beaded on my forehead as I replied, I didn't know. I thought you were willing to be a ninja turtle for the sake of past favors. As a few nurses came over to wheel me into surgery, Adriana held my hand and walked with me to the operating room door. Don't be afraid. Sis will be here waiting for you when you come out. After the surgery, I want seafood porridge, okay? She added with a smile. I'll get someone to cook 2 king crabs right now. Despite the pain, a small smile tugged at my lips. At least I had someone who cared for me. I needed to pass gas after the surgery, and it wasn't until the 3rd day that I could finally eat the seafood porridge. Unfortunately, a few innocent king crabs had been sacrificed in the meantime. Adriana stayed with me at the hospital these past few days, even finding time to go to my house and feed Luna. She postponed as much work as she could, and for urgent documents, she had her secretary bring them to the hospital room. When I felt a bit better, I checked my phone and saw hundreds of missed calls and messages, all from Sabrina. Before I could respond, the phone rang. Louise, where are you? Why haven't you returned my calls? Sabrina demanded. I just had appendicitis surgery and I'm in the hospital, I replied. She seemed to calm down slightly. When will you be discharged? The client is pressing for the planning proposal. My body hasn't recovered yet. The doctor wants me to stay for a week of observation, I said, uncharacteristically showing weakness. You're just lying in the hospital anyway, Sabrina said coldly. I'll have someone bring you a laptop so you can finish it quickly. The moment I put down the phone, I couldn't deny the feeling of disappointment. Lying in bed these past 2 days, I kept telling myself that she chose to go to the hospital with Carlos that day instead of me because she didn't know I was sick and needed care too. If she had known I was hospitalized, she would have taken care of me just like she did for him. However, reality hit hard. No concern, no companionship. Sabrina arrived with Carlos, bringing me a laptop. Look, Carlos cares about you. Even with his injured foot, he still made an effort to visit, she said, smiling at him. Carlos smiled back. Thanks to your care these past few days, I'm feeling much better. His words felt like a knife to my heart. I didn't want to watch their performance in front of me, so I gestured for them to leave the laptop and go. Louise, you need to hurry up. Otherwise, Carlos will have a hard time explaining to the client, Sabrina added. My boyfriend is lying in a hospital bed and all you care about is performance? My frustration boiled over and my tone sharpened. In the 10 years we've been together, this is the first time I've seen you so focused on work. Sabrina paused for a moment, surprised. Appendicitis isn't a big deal. I thought you always had a strong constitution, so it shouldn't be a problem. She hesitated, then softened. What do you want to eat? I'll bring it to you tonight. Her words, though kind, did nothing to comfort me. Forget it. Go ahead. I have a nurse here, I replied. Suddenly, something crossed my mind. By the way, in the next few days, could you feed Luna in the evenings? A friend helped feed her the past few days, but she's busy, and I don't want to trouble her too much. Sabrina sighed. No matter what, you're always thinking about that cat. Of course. It was the first gift you gave me, I said, my voice steady. Sabrina's expression turned slightly unnatural, and she mentioned that she had work at the office before leaving with Carlos. I lay there in bed, an inexplicable sadness weighing on me. How little confidence did I have in our relationship to use a cat to express my feelings of loss and betrayal? As I lay there, Carlos returned. Anything else? I asked, my voice flat. He stood there half smiling. Victor, you just mentioned Luna, the cat Sabrina gave you when you were a child, right? Yes. You could say it was our token of love, I replied, feeling defensive. Carlos's smile widened, almost mocking. That cat was never a gift. It was just a stray she picked up from the roadside. I can't believe you've been so devoted to it. Impossible, I sat up abruptly. Don't try to drive a wedge between Sabrina and me. She told me herself. Your parents divorced, and many classmates bullied you at the time. Sabrina saw a stray kitten on the roadside, picked it up, and stuffed it into your backpack. Then she turned around and reported to the teacher that you brought a pet to school. Think back. Didn't you get scolded by the teacher afterward? He watched my silence with growing smugness. In your eyes, that act of kindness was just someone playing a prank on you. So stop holding on to this sentiment. Sabrina never liked you. She only kept you around to fill the void. Now that I'm back, it's time for you to leave. But I must thank you for managing Mo Group so well and handing it over to me. He laughed mockingly and left, but his words lingered in my mind. Luna was never a gift from Sabrina. It was just a prank, and I had foolishly believed it was a token of love. I could still clearly recall Sabrina's smile when the teacher pulled Luna from my backpack. At the time, I thought it was a smile of encouragement, but now I realized it was a smile of triumph. That memory shattered my belief in everything. From beginning to end, it had all been my wishful thinking. On the day of my discharge, Adriana dropped me off downstairs. She had other matters to attend to, so she left. As I opened the door, a sudden feeling of foreboding washed over me. Usually, when I came home from work, Luna would wait by the door. Luna? I called out a few times, but there was no response. I rushed inside and found her in the corner behind the sofa. She lay there stiffly, already cold and lifeless. The 2 bowls for her food and water were both empty. Sabrina hadn't come to feed her. Luna had starved to death. I picked her up in my arms, my body shaking uncontrollably. The once warm and soft little creature now lay stiff and cold in my embrace. I found a beautiful cartoon box and placed Luna inside, along with her favorite toy and food bowl. Under a tree in the nearby park, I dug a deep hole and buried her. Luna, after accompanying me for 18 years, was finally gone. She had witnessed my gratitude, longing, and deep love for Sabrina. Her departure severed my last connection to Sabrina. The next day, I went to the office and handed in my resignation letter. 2 things. First, resignation. Second, breakup. Sabrina shrieked, "Victor, are you crazy? What are you doing?" "Luna is dead. She starved to death," I said calmly. Sabrina froze, stammering, "I've been so busy with the company these past 2 days I forgot to feed her." "I reminded you no less than 3 times, I said, unable to hide my frustration. "So what? You're breaking up with me over a stupid cat?" I laughed bitterly. "Of course, to you, Luna was just a stray cat, a tool for a prank." Sabrina's eyes flickered with unease. "Didn't you tell Carlos yourself?" I sneered. "Stop pretending. Since you love someone else, let's break up." "I don't agree." Sabrina was furious. "Even if we break up, it should be my decision, and I don't accept your resignation letter either. Whether you approve it or not is your problem. Starting tomorrow, I won't come to the company. From now on, you're no longer my girlfriend." "Victor, you bastard! What on earth is wrong with you?" she screamed. I remained calm. "I'm not crazy." I was completely disillusioned with this relationship. "Sabrina, you like Carlos, right?" I asked. "I give you your freedom. From now on, you 2 can be together without ever having to separate." My previous tolerance and patience made it hard for Sabrina to accept the person I had become now. Seeing me walk out, she threw a fit and swept all the documents off her desk. "Victor, if you dare leave today, don't ever think about coming back. I will never forgive you." I waved my hand behind me, not looking back, and left without hesitation. Just like Adriana said, a relationship with no value should be cut off, like an appendix. After resigning from the company, I packed a small bag and bought a ticket to a Southeast Asian island. For 10 years, I had worked tirelessly. Now, lying under the clear blue sky, basking in the tropical sun, listening to the sound of the waves, I felt a rare sense of relaxation. But the good times didn't last long. Less than 2 weeks later, someone came looking for me. "Adriana!" I jumped up from the beach chair, panic rising. The last time I heard those words, my mother had been diagnosed with lung cancer. "What's wrong?" I asked, my voice trembling. After all, she was the only family I had left in this world. biologically, excluding that father of mine. The doctor said there's a problem with my digestive system. If it progresses, it could turn into colon cancer. I was shocked. How could this happen? You've always been so healthy. Tears welled up in my eyes and streamed down my face. Don't be afraid, she reassured me. It's not that serious yet. The doctor just said I need to stop overworking and rest. I wiped my tears away. Then stop working and come vacation with me, I suggested. She shook her head. I can't. The two sons of the old man are always eyeing the top positions in the Gu family. If I step down, they'll definitely arrange for them to take my place. The Gu family is the legacy Grandpa left behind. I can't let it fall into outsiders' hands. If it weren't for this, when Mom and Dad divorced, I wouldn't have stayed with that old man. I sighed. But you can't risk your life for this. I have no choice, she said firmly. Even if it costs my life, I have to protect Grandpa's legacy. She paused, then added, unless you come and help me. I scrutinized her for a while. Are you lying to me just to get me back to the Gu family? She pulled out a piece of paper. Here, the medical report, she said. I unfolded it and read it carefully. It was filled with medical terms, and at the bottom the conclusion was colon polyps. Seeing my puzzled expression, she explained, my polyps are different from ordinary ones. They're more dangerous, considered a precancerous condition. You can look it up. I sighed deeply. I know you hate the old man. Ever since Mom divorced him, you never wanted to see him again. It's okay. I'll fight them on my own. As long as you're happy, I'll have peace when I meet Mom in the afterlife. Her words hit me hard. Sis, stop. I'll go back with you. Really? Are you sure? It's not too much for you? You've sacrificed so much over the years. It's my turn now, I said. Together we'll drive out the old witch and her sons from the Gu family. Good. And the old man, too. We'll kick them all out, she said, her voice determined. I hugged Adriana tightly, feeling the warmth of family I had long missed. I didn't notice the large X she had drawn in the soft sand with her high heel. The next day, Adriana and I took the same flight back to the country. I assumed the position of consulting manager at Gu. My grandfather had started his career with consulting and planning, and the consulting company held a unique position within the entire group. He had only one daughter, my mother, who had no interest in business, so he groomed his son-in-law as his successor. But soon after my grandfather passed away, Joel Gu had a mistress. My mother couldn't tolerate it and sought a divorce. During the division of assets, she discovered that the company had already become an empty shell, with all assets transferred to the Gu family name my mother left with me, harboring deep resentment, and passed away a few years later, heartbroken. No one understood my mother's regrets better than I did, and I was determined to reclaim the company with my own hands. Thanks to Adriana's prior arrangements and my reputation in the consulting industry, taking over the company was smooth. As she was leaving, Adriana asked, "Do you want me to get back at Sabrina for how she treated you?" "No," I said, my tone steady. "I'll handle my own affairs. We're in the same industry, so we'll inevitably run into each other. Don't go easy on her." "Do I seem like the kind of person who mixes personal and professional matters?" I said, determined. "I brought Mo Group to where it is now. I can bring it back down." "Good," she said, smiling. "That's the brother I know." Adriana left, happy with the decision. On my first day in the office, I reassigned Manager Lin to my general office. Pablo was ecstatic. "Wow, I'm so lucky to work with Mr. Ming again," he exclaimed. I smiled but didn't celebrate. "Don't celebrate just yet. I have an important task for you." I handed him a list of key consulting and planning staff from the Gu Group. "Contact these people and see if any of them are willing to join Gu Consulting. Their salaries will be doubled." "No problem. Leave it to me," Pablo said eagerly. "Actually, I've been in touch with some people at ATO Group. Many of them are already looking to jump ship. Carlos is a complete outsider who knows nothing. He just gives random orders. Today he wants this, tomorrow he wants that. Everyone's frustrated and fed up." I had thought Carlos was just targeting me, but it turned out he treated everyone the same. Has Sabrina mentioned Carlos's behavior at all? Carlos takes all the credit for successful projects, while blaming others when things go wrong. What's worse is that Sabrina seems completely enchanted by him. Great news. I raised an eyebrow, a plan forming in my mind. Bring those people over and create a separate department. You'll be in charge specifically to compete with Carlos. I'm on it. You can count on me, Pablo responded with enthusiasm. Pablo, eager to settle the score with Carlos, left the office cheerfully. I couldn't help but smile faintly. Mo Group was on the edge, just as I had expected. Carlos's chaotic management style was causing widespread frustration within the company. The planning department staff, whom I had personally recruited, jumped at the opportunity to join GU Consulting with double the salary. The most amusing part was that Carlos, believing they were resigning to spite him for my sake, approved all their resignations without a second thought. By the time Sabrina showed up the next day, those people had already joined GU Consulting. Sabrina entered the now empty planning department, clearly bewildered. If you let all these people go, how are we supposed to handle new projects? She asked. Carlos, brimming with confidence, answered, Those who resigned were Victor's people. Now that he's gone, they weren't going to be useful anyway. It's better to let them go and bring in fresh talent. Sabrina didn't respond, but later came to GU Consulting after work, intending to confront me. Victor, what's going on between you and Adriana? She demanded. What exactly are you insinuating? I asked, sensing where this was going. Were you and her together, even before we broke up? I sneered at her. Do you really think everyone operates like you and Carlos? Sabrina grabbed my wrist, her sharp nails digging into my skin. Victor, you left Mo Group and then immediately became general manager for GU Consulting. You helped Adriana poach Mo Group's employees. Are you telling me there was nothing between you two? Carlos is single and free to pursue anyone he likes, I replied coldly. But you? While with me, you cozied up to the GU family. You're the real scumbag. You're not even worth licking Carlos's boots. Sabrina's eyes flared with fury. Is that really how you see me? My wrist ached from her grip, but the real pain was deep in my chest. She was my first love, and I had loved her wholeheartedly for 10 years. When Mo Group was at its lowest, Carlos had left her and gone away for 10 years. Yet she never spoke ill of him. I stood by her through every hardship, but she repaid me with insults. This was the woman I thought I'd spend my life with. Do you know what my name was before I turned 7? I asked suddenly. Sabrina looked at me, confused, unsure of where I was going with this. Before I was 7, my parents divorced. I took my mother's surname. Before that, my name was Victor GU. I'm Adriana's younger brother. Do you understand now? Sabrina's face went pale as if struck by a bolt of lightning. I'm sorry, I didn't know, she stammered, her voice faltering. I was just speaking without thinking. Words spoken in haste often reveal true feelings, I said, my voice devoid of emotion. Sabrina, thank you for severing the last shred of affection I had for you. Sabrina panicked. Victor, I admit I misjudged you, but there's really nothing between Carlos and me. You made him the general manager, replacing my position. You let him hold your waist and attend public events. When I had appendicitis, you hung up on my call for help to care for his sprained ankle. If that's not love, then what is? Stop lying to yourself, I said, my voice calm but firm. You've already made your choice between him and me. Sabrina, desperate, lowered herself, pleading. Victor, I admit I didn't handle things well. Come back. GU Group can't function without you. Please come back. You want me to come back and watch you and Carlos all lovey-dovey? I asked, my voice unwavering. Sabrina, we're done. From now on, we're strangers. Let's not revisit the past. Carlos had lived up to his word. He hired a new batch of planning personnel at below-market salaries. Before long, due to a major contract, GU Consulting and Mo Group were on a direct collision course. I assigned Pablo to lead the project. I'm giving you a chance to face off against Carlos. Don't let me down. Thank you, Mr. Ming, Pablo said, eager to prove himself. I'll make sure to crush him. Pablo had managed the planning department for 5 years and had the expertise to handle things independently. He worked with the planners who had come over from Mo Group, and within a week, they developed a comprehensive plan. On the day of the bidding, Pablo and I ran into Sabrina and Carlos. There were 4 or 5 companies bidding that day, and GU Consulting and Mo Group were the top contenders. The order was determined by drawing lots, and GU Consulting went first. Pablo presented the plan eloquently. backed by detailed data and solid insights. When the client representative asked questions, Pablo responded effortlessly. When it was Mo Group's turn, Carlos presented their plan. After just a few sentences, I couldn't hold back my laughter. As the saying goes, an expert knows the ropes. Carlos's plan was a hodgepodge of recycled proposals, filled with data pulled from the internet and passed off as new ideas. He seemed unsure of himself, repeatedly flashing his signature smile at the female client representative. It was almost comical, using charm to compensate for a lack of substance. Sabrina, standing beside him, looked increasingly displeased. As expected, GU Consulting won the contract. Pablo proudly came to me to claim credit. "Mr. Ming, how was this battle?" "Excellent. Keep up the good work. You can count on it." The industry is small, and over the following months, GU Consulting and Mo Group crossed paths frequently. Pablo, determined to prove himself, consistently outperformed Carlos. Eventually, Sabrina couldn't handle the pressure and came to see me again. "Victor, you built Mo Group from the ground up. Do you really want to see it collapse?" Sabrina asked, her voice filled with desperation. I responded calmly, "What exactly are you trying to say? You know Carlos's capabilities are limited. Why are you targeting him?" she pressed. "We're in the same industry," I replied. "Competing for business is inevitable. It's all about skills. Victor, even though we've broken up, you still own 10% of Mo Group's shares. Can you really stand by and watch Mo Group go bankrupt?" she continued, a hint of pleading in her tone. I almost forgot about that. Back when Mo Group was on the verge of bankruptcy, many shareholders had been selling off their shares to stabilize things. I borrowed money to buy them up. I gave her two options. Either she buys my shares at market value, or I sell them to someone else. "Victor, do you have to do this?" Sabrina asked anxiously. "Let's not bring personal feelings into work. You've always been very professional." "Yes, and right now I'm talking business," I shrugged. "Since you appointed Carlos as general manager, the company's performance has been declining. For my personal financial interests, I don't want to hold on to my shares in Mo Group anymore, but I don't have the funds right now. If you can't buy them, I'll sell them to someone else. But if that happens, you might lose your controlling interest." Sabrina, as the largest shareholder with 45%, held the majority stake in the company. I owned 10%, and the remaining 45% was scattered among other shareholders. Losing control meant Mo Group would no longer be under her command, and her position as chairman would be jeopardized. "I don't believe you would be so ruthless," she said, her voice shaking. "Just wait and see." I contacted potential buyers and discussed selling my shares in Mo Group. The news spread like wildfire, and soon everyone in the industry knew about it. Carlos, fearing that if Sabrina lost her controlling interest, he'd be ousted as general manager, persuaded Sabrina to use all the company's liquid funds and even mortgage their current villa to scrape together enough money to buy back my shares. From that point on, I had no further ties to Mo Group or to Sabrina. Upon joining GU Consulting, I learned that Mo Group's rapid rise in recent years was partly due to Adriana's strategic concessions. The consulting company had been founded single-handedly by my grandfather. After Adriana took over, she implemented an iron-fisted policy, overhauling the internal staff and appointing her trusted allies to mid- and high-level positions. Externally, she expanded the business and secured a stronghold in the international market. Few domestic consulting firms could compete with GU Consulting, except when facing Mo Group. GU Consulting would deliberately step aside, giving Mo Group the opportunity to rise. However, now that I was in charge of GU Consulting, Mo Group wouldn't be so fortunate. I split the planning department into two divisions. The original planning department of GU Consulting would focus on high-end clients, while the team of former Mo Group employees, led by Pablo, would form a new department specializing in the mid to low-end market. Pablo, being the gossip he was, never missed a chance to share juicy tidbits during his work reports. "I heard Sabrina recently hired a planning director from abroad," he said one day. "Because of this, Carlos has been causing a scene every day, turning Mo Group into a marketplace. The new planning director from ATO Group was chased away by Carlos, and now their proposals are a mess. Their reputation is taking a hit in the industry. Word is, Mo Group is financially strapped. Sabrina's villa has been repossessed by the bank, and now she's renting a place. I raised an eyebrow. Sounds like things are going well for us. Pablo chuckled. Yeah, she's a mess. And to top it off, she showed up to work today with 2 black eyes. Apparently, she and Carlos had another fight last night. Do you have surveillance on ATO Group? I asked, amused. How do you know every little detail? Pablo laughed. The old planning department's work group chat has turned into a gossip chat. The few remaining veterans at ATO Group complain all day long. I smiled, looking out the window at the fallen leaves. The weather's getting cold. Looks like Mo Group is heading toward bankruptcy. The latest financial report showed Mo Group's revenue had plummeted, with losses in the tens of millions. The stock price dropped accordingly, and shareholders began selling off their shares. After several consecutive limit downs, Mo Group faced the real possibility of delisting. The scene from 10 years ago repeated itself, and Sabrina had no idea how to handle it. Last time, I carried the burden for her. This time, there was no one to help her. Sabrina thought of me again. She waited at the company entrance for half a month, finally blocking my car. Victor, Mo Group is going bankrupt. Please help me, she cried. Carlos is the general manager of Mo Group. You should discuss it with him, I replied, barely holding back my irritation. She sobbed. That bastard. Seeing things go bad, he bought a ticket and fled abroad overnight. I can't reach him at all. I see, I said, looking at her gently through the car window. Sabrina, this is the choice you made. You have to live with it. Victor, you can't be so heartless, she cried, clinging to the car window. I know I was wrong. I was way off. Please forgive me. This once, Victor. Without you, Mo Group can't survive. Sorry, I'm very busy and don't have time to help you, I said, my voice firm. If you really can't go on, don't force yourself. The bodyguards pulled her aside and the car drove off. In the rearview mirror, I saw Sabrina collapse on the ground, as if she couldn't believe I could say such heartless words. But I wasn't lying. When I told Sabrina I was busy, Adriana seized control of the entire Gu family group while the old man was hospitalized. She conducted a major purge within the company, placing her people in key positions. The old witch and her 2 sons fought back fiercely, desperate to maintain their control, but Adriana had already outsmarted them. She had gathered evidence of their embezzlement and reported it to the old man. In his younger years, the old man had been quite the philanderer, but as he aged, his focus shifted to his bloodline, especially after seeing me return to the Gu family. He no longer cared about his 2 stepsons and, under Adriana's influence, he relinquished the chairman position, transferring most of the company's shares to us. Adriana became the chairman and immediately sent the old men to live abroad. After returning from the airport, she kicked the old witch and her sons out of the house. The old witch cried and cursed Adriana for being unfilial, threatening to fine the old man. Adriana just sneered. I sent him to a nursing home in Northern Europe. If you don't mind the cold, go find him. But even if you do, it won't help. The shares are in Victor's and my name's. If he dares to refuse, I'll stop paying for his nursing home. Still defiant, the old witch conspired with her sons to kidnap Adriana. But we were prepared. We set a trap, and the trio was sent to prison. 6 months later, the Gu family group was renamed Ming family. During the Qingming festival, Adriana, now Adriana Ming, and I went to visit the graves. She placed the flowers, and I set out the offerings. Grandpa, Grandma, Mom, we've come to see you, Adriana said, her voice soft with reverence. I added, we've reclaimed the company. The Ming family is thriving under Sister's leadership. You can rest in peace. Turning to Adriana, I said, Sis, you haven't been resting well. Let's go for a checkup at the hospital. Adriana looked puzzled. Check what? Your colon polyps? She asked casually. I had them removed right after the diagnosis. It's all taken care of. But you said they were precancerous and dangerous. I glared at her. You tricked me and made me worry for so long. Oh, dear brother, she said with a mischievous grin. If I hadn't tricked you, would you have come back to the Gu family? She put her arm around my shoulders. Sis isn't sick. You should be happy, but hey, Mom is watching. If you get mad at me here, she won't be at peace. All right, you win, I said, smiling despite myself. I also put my arm around her shoulders and added, "Mom, see? Even when sis believes me, I don't get mad. We siblings are close." The Ming family flourished under our joint efforts and became immensely successful. One day, a client arranged a meeting at a high-end bar, and I didn't expect to see Sabrina there. To lighten the mood, the client had hired a few hostesses, and Sabrina was one of them. When she saw me, her eyes instantly turned red, but she held back her tears, forcing a smile as she continued drinking with the others. When the party ended, I was the last to leave. Sabrina grabbed my sleeve and wouldn't let go. "Victor, I know I was wrong. Please forgive me," she cried, kneeling in front of me, her sobs racking her body. "You loved me so much before. Every time I made a mistake, you couldn't bear to scold me. I've suffered and been punished. Now I know no other man in the world was as good to me as you. You truly loved me. From now on, I'll be a good wife and love you forever." It was too late. I pulled my sleeve free and brushed her off lightly. "Victor, you no longer have the right to say you love me." Amid her heart-wrenching cries, I turned and walked away, leaving the bar and walking out of her world forever.